In times of high stress and anxiety, the simple act of falling asleep can prove difficult. And so we spend our days exhausted, and then we finally find the comfort of our beds, ready to fall asleep, and our thoughts race, and our body is tight and tense, and then the act of falling asleep in and of itself becomes a source of stress. And this is where we can introduce the practice of meditation, not only to help us find rest and relaxation, but also to help sleep find us. And so first I would offer to you to reframe your evenings, and instead of trying to fall asleep, use those first few minutes lying in bed as a meditation. So I'm going to lead us in a brief meditation with some techniques now that we can employ to help create the conditions for sleep. These techniques are borrowed from a form of meditation I teach called Yoga Nidra, stands for yogic sleep. And these techniques will help to assuage your headspace, to get you into a brainwave state that is more conducive to falling asleep, also to relax the body. So I would invite you now to lie down flat on your back. This is the posture used in this Yoga Nidra practice. We're not going to do a full Yoga Nidra. Those are 20, 30, 40 minutes long. We're just going to do a brief meditation with some techniques that you can borrow from the meditation and just employ every night as you lie in bed. So having come to a posture lying down flat on your back, I would invite you now to close your eyes, and we'll start our meditation together with 3 deep breaths. Let's inhale through the nose and sigh it out. And again, inhale through the nose and sigh it out. And lastly, in through the nose and sigh it out. All right, just focusing on your breath. We're not going to try to stop our thoughts from coming and going. We're going to accept that the mind will wander. Whenever it does, we simply become aware and then make the conscious choice to return to the experience of this present moment, the experience of this meditation, of our breath and our body. So as we lie in bed, we might find that the thoughts race. As they do, we simply notice and steer our attention back to the breath. Not trying to stop those racing thoughts, but rather accepting them, and then gently, without judgment, returning to the present moment experience. We might also find as we lie in bed, the body is tight and tense, fidgety perhaps. And so rather than denying these physiological sensations, we can lean into them. So as we breathe now, we're going to do a technique called tension and relaxation. On your next inhalation, inhale fully, and then hold the breath and tighten and tense all the muscles of the body as you hold the breath. Tightening the body, fists with the hands, tightening the legs, the torso, neck, head, and face as you hold the breath. And then exhale, release, and let go. Sigh it out. Returning to your normal breath, feel that sensation of letting go throughout the body. Perhaps the heart is beating a bit more. Perhaps you can sense the movement of energy throughout the body. We'll repeat this technique once again. Inhale fully. Hold the breath and tighten and tense all the muscles of the body. Fist with the hands, tighten the legs, torso, neck, head, and face. Tighten and feel that tension throughout the body. Exhale, release, and let go. On your next exhalation, letting go even more. Should you feel residual tension in the body, you can repeat this technique again and again as often as you need, but eventually allowing the body to fully relax and release with each cycle of the breath. inviting a bit more ease into our experience, accepting the mind as it wanders off, noticing whenever it does, noticing those thoughts, those stories that fill your headspace, and then returning without judgment to your breath. And sensing the breath, the movement of the breath at the belly and the lungs that rise and fall, expansion and release. And perhaps the mind wanders off to a thought. I cannot fall asleep. So be it, simply notice that thought and again return to the breath. Sensations at the belly and the lungs, one breath at a time, accepting our racing thoughts. The mind might wander off to thoughts about the past, a to-do list for the coming day. So be it. We notice those wandering thoughts, perpetually returning to our breath, settling in with each cycle, inhaling and exhaling. Now begin inhaling through the nose, filling the lungs. Start to exhale slow and steady through pursed lips, as though blowing out through a straw. Inhaling through the nose, filling the lungs. Exhaling slow and steady through those pursed lips. Doing so at your own pace, your own rhythm. Continuing to inhale fully through the nose and exhale slow and steady through the mouth. Extending your exhaling breath, slow and steady. As we elongate our exhalation, we induce our parasympathetic response. We invite ease and relaxation throughout the nervous system simply by extending our exhale longer than our inhale. Inhaling through the nose, filling the lungs. Exhaling slow and steady through our pursed lips. Allowing this flow of the breath to serve as our anchor to this present moment. The mind will wander. As it does, we notice and then gently return, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling slow and steady through the mouth. Anchored to this flow of the breath. Noticing the sensations at the belly and the lungs, and as well at the mouth and the nose. Letting go of any efforts to make anything happen. No longer trying to fall asleep. Just lying here, one breath at a time, mindfully observing our headspace, honoring the conditions of our bodies. If there's some measure of emotion present, then honoring those emotions, one breath at a time, in through the nose, slow and steady out through the mouth. Inviting ease into the body and the mind through this flow of the breath. One breath at a time. In through the nose, slow and steady, out through the mouth. Should we feel compelled, we can let go of this breathing technique. And until sleep finds us, we simply focus on the breath. Notice the wanderings of the mind, sensations throughout the body. Notice anything and everything that compels our attention. Distractions within and without. Whenever we find ourselves lost, we simply return to our breath. One breath at a time, finding rest and relaxation.